रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। सीताराम सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम।
We, the students of 3C, are here to celebrate 152nd birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, was born on 2nd October. It is a very important day for our country. We celebrate this day as Gandhi Jayanti. With great respect, we also refer to Mahatma Gandhi as Bapu.
Long ago, on this day in 1869, he was born in Porbandar to father Karamchand Uttamchand Gandhi and mother Putli Bai. They named him Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi.
In his early childhood, he was greatly influenced by the honesty and the discipline of his father and the simplicity and religious thoughts of his mother. He held high values throughout his life and rightly demonstrated these values to the entire world.
However, as a child, he picked up a few bad habits. But as soon as he realized his mistake, he confessed to his father. In a letter, he had asked for punishment and promised never to repeat the mistake he had committed.
His father read the letter and tore it without uttering a word. Tears rolled down his eyes.
Mohan was deeply hurt. He realized how much his father loved him.
This incident had a lasting impact on his mind. He realized the power of truth. That day, he vowed to tell the truth under any circumstance.
He realized that non-violence or ahimsa can bring about a transformation. Later, he took up ahimsa as a weapon.
Gandhiji was sent to England to study law. He became a barrister. In September 1888, he returned to India and started practicing law in Rajkot.
In May 1893, Gandhiji shifted to Natal in South Africa as a legal advisor in an Indian firm.
In those days, racism was prevalent in South Africa. Indians were ill-treated because of the color of their skin. Gandhiji too experienced this discrimination. He was traveling in a train to Pretoria in a first-class compartment. A European passenger protested and complained to the station master that he would not travel on a compartment in which an Indian was traveling. The station master asked Gandhiji to shift to the second-class compartment. Gandhiji opposed this, as he pointed out he had paid for the first-class ticket. However, he was pushed out of the compartment along with his luggage.
It was a very insulting experience for Gandhiji, and he decided to fight against this discrimination. He wanted to help the Indians living in South Africa in their struggle for civil rights. Unlike other protesters, he did not resort to violence. Instead, he propagated to non-violence and truth and named it Satyagraha.
He called a meeting of the Indians in Pretoria and asked them to form a league. This was his first public speech. It caused an
Indian community in South Africa.
After coming back to India in 1915, Gandhiji decided to fight against the injustice of British towards his country. Very soon, many people from all over the country joined him. Gandhiji united all the Indians against the British.
Gandhiji emphasized on satyagraha as a method to be followed in the national movement against the British. He insisted on showing passive resistance, non-violence, disobedience, boycott, and hunger strikes in the freedom movement.
In 1835, the British imposed a tax on salt. The tax raised the price of salt and made it difficult for Indians, especially the poor, to buy the salt they needed.
The salt laws made it illegal for Indians to collect, produce, and sell salt. Anyone who produced or sold salt in India would be imprisoned for 6 months.
Gandhiji and many others considered the imposition of the salt tax unfair and decided to protest. He said,
Next to air and water, salt is perhaps the greatest necessity of life.
Salt is important because it adds taste to our food and is essential for our health.
Gandhiji organized a salt march from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to seaside village of Dadri in south of Gujarat. Come, my countrymen, let us march to the seashore and make our own salt.
Gandhiji began his march on 12th March with 78 people.
Along the 240 miles from Ahmedabad to Dandi, thousands of people from all over India joined the march to protest against the salt law imposed by British government.
Gandhiji and his followers walked about 12 miles a day and reached Dandi in 3 weeks.
He called it a battle of right against might. At the end of the march, Gandhiji picked up some grains of salt from the seashore and took a pledge.
With this crystal of salt, I am going to shake the foundation of the British Empire. Following the salt march, 80,000 Indians along with Gandhiji were jailed. But Gandhiji's salt march got wide news coverage. It became a turning point in the history of India's independence movement. Finally, the British understood that it would not be possible to rule India against such opposition.
Gandhiji was invited to London to discuss the reforms in India.
Our country won independence on August 15, 1947. It was the first time in world history that a huge victory was achieved through satyagraha. Mahatma Gandhi inspired millions of people across the world to follow the path of non-violence.
Thus, he rightly said, non-violence is the weapon of the strong. Happy Gandhi Jayanti. Thank you and have a nice day.